I have 10 extra cyan terracotta. I should not, but I do. Apparently, I have miscounted somewhere. Or there might be another cyan, which I do not see, so maybe not, that I have missed some in? I don't know. But yeah, I don't want to survive the zombie apocalypse because watching these guys, oh, these are creeper faces. How did I not notice that before? Weird. If they're like, it's not going to be a good life. And I don't plan to have kids, so what can I contribute to society? Like, I have nothing to give. I have nothing to offer. I'm not a breeder. I'm sorry. I don't want to have children. Okay, so I'm switching these guys out, and they're coming over here. And move that, take that. So yeah, there's no benefit for me to survive, Super volcano happens, which I think is more likely than the actual. Actually, you never know, because what if I do survive? Maybe I carry, like, if it's a super virus or something and I survive, maybe I'm carrying the immunity to it. Maybe my blood is needed. So, yeah. I'm thinking the movie with, oh, what's his name in it? Will Smith. The one where he's in there all by himself and he has his dog and then he doesn't have his dog afterwards, which is really sad. Oh dear, we're doing the whole direction, it's going every which way arrow thing. This house may have to get moved simply because of the fact that it may be seen from other things that are going to be prettier if not seen like this. But yeah, my anxiety makes me think about things like this, which is lots of fun. Doesn't everybody want to contemplate whether or not the zombie apocalypse is coming, or if the super volcano is going to explode, or if there's going to be an economic disaster? The economic disaster one I hadn't thought about much until I watched the National Geographic special. I hadn't thought about what would happen if, we have hyperinflation or something. It just didn't. I don't know what I would do if money wasn't worth money. I mean, before I lived in a house, that was easy. You just grow all the stuff. We had lots of gardening space. We could grow our food. We could do all of that. But I now live on the 7th floor of an apartment building. We have a tiny little balcony. There is no way we could grow enough food on that balcony to be sustainable for 3 people. There's just no way. On top of that, the competition for food in this building would become kind of fierce. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to my sobering thoughts on the zombie apocalypse and survivability. So yeah, I'm like, I don't think there is a way in this apartment to do so. My sister's got a house with some land, but I still don't think that would work because there's 3 of them, plus my parents, plus me. And then if my nephew comes, I mean, there isn't enough land for that many people. And I know they probably wouldn't stick around because they like going up north instead. So they would probably go up into what we call the Halliburton Highlands, which does have, there's a lot of preppers and stuff up there. So that's somewhere that would work because it is literally bush. Like, it's trees, and that's where you have your cottages. There's lots of lakes. There's lots of wild game. There's a lot of space to work with. So it would be a good place. Why can't I place that block? It's a good place if you were going to do some kind of survival thing. But the catch is getting there. And again, sister doesn't drive. Sister's boyfriend doesn't drive. I drive, but I can't fit everybody in the car. So we would have to take Dad's car and my car to be able to do it, to fit us all in, and potential supplies. And there isn't enough room for that many supplies. So we would literally be prepping from scratch after, the emergency happened. And that's not kind of a good way to do it. At least according to Nat Geo. It's not a good way to do it. I also don't know how to can. Like, everybody seems to be canning things. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. I don't have that skill set. So, tack back, when I move down there, one of the things I'm going to learn how to do is can. We're going to have to move, though. We're going to need to move into a 3-bedroom apartment, ground floor, with a backyard. A townhouse would be better. That would be awesome. And as much as I hate to say it, I might actually consider, just based on watching this show, I might actually consider, no, you know what? I can't do it. I can't do it. There was one family that they have all kinds of really cool things going on and everything like that, but nobody had a gun. Not one gun in the entire family. And they made it a conscious choice. And I was just like, you are not going to survive. Like, you can't. In a situation like that, there are people like me who don't have the opportunity to prep, or they just didn't care because they thought it'll never happen. And there is no way that you can actually, fight them off. You need to have weapons. Now, one of them did have a bow and arrow that he made. He actually showed you how to make a bow out of PVC pipe. And I was like, that is so cool. I want a PVC pipe bow. Because a bow I wouldn't mind. I am just so morally against guns that even when it came to my own survival, I don't think I could do it. I really don't. Which is sad because according to the Nat Geo people who were analyzing, they said, you guys have everything, but the first marauding band of, people that come through, you're done. They're going to take everything that you just worked for, and it's going to be theirs. They're like, oh, no, we'll invite them in and, we'll have a great chat and everything. And if it turns out that they're going to be really bad and everything, we'll just kill them in their sleep. And I was thinking, you'll already be gone. Like, what are you that naive? Have you not watched, movies on TV? Come on now. There are millions of science fiction books out there that'll tell you what's really going to happen. I do have one that I really liked that they did prepping. They were a bit of a problem with their prepping because part of being a good prepper is not letting other people know you're a prepper. Because they don't have to prep. They know you're prepping and they just have to take your stuff. Right? That just makes sense. Why do the work when somebody else is doing the work? You can just take theirs. You just have to be stronger than them. So they have been doing their prepping, but they've been working with their community, teaching them how to be preppers. One of them was in real estate and made a lot of money. So they don't actually have to work anymore. So what they did was they actually started a gym where they've been teaching people self-defense and how to do prepping. They own a gun range. They have a self-defense studio where they teach one-on-one combat skills. They do all of that. And then they also have a cooking class that they run to show how you can make really wonderful recipes out of food, like shelf-stable food. Things like eggs, if kept in a cool, wrapped in... Now, don't try this at home, please, because I have no idea how she didn't get food poisoning from it. But eggs can be kept, according to her, for at least 4 to 6 months. No, 4 to 6 months? maybe it was more than that. 4 doesn't seem like enough. At least 6 months. You just coat them in oil so that they don't breathe. Therefore, the eggs can't actually go bad because it's the oxygen in them that makes them turn. And then you just put them in a cool place, cool, dry place, and they'll keep. And I was like, that sounds scary. I don't want an egg that's that old. I want a chicken that's that old, but not an egg. And it can freshly lay that egg for me. That's what I want. So I don't know, it's kind of scary. And I like the idea of some of them have like their own farms and things. One of them, he was pretty funny actually. He is like, his logic is that a lot of people are going to burn wood. He doesn't want to burn wood because if you burn wood, you can smell wood, right? Everybody knows what a campfire smells like. And that's going to attract people. So instead of actually building that, he has pigs. And, oh, I lost that. He has pigs. And what he does is he takes the methane that comes from the pigs and pumps it in through a system that he's built. And he burns methane instead. Methane is odorless. I'm like, yes, but it'll probably kill you in the end. But he won't know if he's dying from methane poisoning. But yeah, I was like, that is ingenious. I would have never thought of that. To use methane as your fuel instead, because it's not like your pigs aren't already producing it. Or if you have cows or chickens or any kind of livestock, or you just eat a lot of beans, trap yourself in a room. Essentially it's you're collecting, good morning. It's, farts. It's fuel, farts for fuel. And so yeah, he has a way of actually collecting that. And that's what he's using because he's like, yeah, my neighbors will have all of this, wood that they're burning and everyone will come around because they can smell it and everything and they won't. So no one will know that they have fuel and they won't know they have animals or everything. They were a little extreme. They had built their house as like a compound. The compound was made from trucking containers. And I think they were in Texas. So it was pretty interesting that way. So they had these trucking containers and they had them a few height. And it was pretty awesome to see because it just looked like a wall. I'm not looking for new villagers. I'm encouraging them to move. I want the center of my village to shift. So it's based on where all of these are, will depend on where the center of the village is, like where the doors are and stuff. So I want them to shift a bit so that they will populate more of the actual area. Because right now they're all just centered way up there. I want them to spread out and be out here. I would like them to be in the igloo and out by the farm and stuff. So yeah. But yeah, it's the one thing I would like to do is I'll probably learn how to do better bow shooting. I have done archery as a child, but I haven't done much of that. But I don't know what kind of apocalypse there would be. Apparently there is a fault line that runs like in the middle of the US. And if it goes, it'll essentially split the entire US in half. And I was like, oh, I love earthquakes. They are like my favorite disaster of all disasters. They are my absolute favorite. And I know that sounds really weird to have a favorite disaster, but I do. Okay, there are too many of these. I am going to go back and I am going to weave myself through the houses, go to sleep, and make a shovel. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of disasters. They are my favorite things. By watching stuff like this, prepping shows and stuff, things like that, I don't feel so helpless. I don't feel so anxious. I don't feel so out of control. Because I look at them and I'm like, there is no way that it's going to happen. I will be on the same side if the US is split in half, but he's still too far away. Like, if any kind of major disaster happens, there is no way that Tackback and I will be able to get together. We're done. It's just physically impossible. He lives too far away, and there are way too many major cities where there would be a lot of dangerous looting and stuff that would go on. It would literally take us years to meet up. So, no. And what would the value of it be? I mean, sure, I love you, Tackback, but there isn't any benefit for society on the two of us finding each other at all. It's better for us to just hunker down where we are and move on from there, because there's no way for us to know if the other one even survived. So what would be the point of him coming up to Canada if I was in my apartment building and the apartment building collapsed? He will have traveled all the way to Canada, abandoning his family, and to find out a couple of years later, then when he finally arrives, that I'm gone, and I've been gone for years. That is a whole lot of danger to put yourself into when it's unnecessary. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me at all, and I wouldn't want it to happen. Unless there is some means of communication to say, okay, yes, I'm alive, or something like that, it just doesn't make sense. Again, that's a lot of walking, and you can't carry enough food to be able to walk that kind of distance and for that amount of time. There's no way to carry 2 years worth of food on you and not get mugged on the way by somebody who doesn't have any food. Like, there isn't going to be enough fuel out there to be able to drive all the way. You could probably drive a good chunk of the way, but not all of the way. Eventually, you need to refuel, and there won't be any. That's not going to be an option. So at that point, you're now going by foot. It is I think a 16-hour drive from his place to mine. And that's assuming clear highways, no real traffic, no breakdowns on the highway, no people running out of fuel on the highway, nobody trying to stop you and steal your car on the highway. Like, we're talking just a regular vacation trip. It's 16 hours. And you're going to have to stop for fuel at least twice. So I'm like, not going to happen. My car, I normally have pretty close to a full tank of gas in it, and it just sits most of the time. I have a better shot of coming down to him than he has of coming up to me. But the closer I get to him, the more danger I would be in. It is safer for me to stay in Canada than it is for me to go down into the US while they're panicking. Not to mention, I do have to go through the area where that earthquake would be. The highway goes right through it. Even though he and I would be on the same side of the split United States, to be able to cross over, to be able to get to him, I have to go through that area. So I would literally be driving through a disaster area. And I'm thinking that's probably not a good idea. Not to mention, they will probably close the borders. So I don't know if I even could cross the border. And if he did make it to the border, I'm not sure he'd be able to get into the country. So I know my passport's good for 10 years, but that's pushing it. Let me into your country. Yeah, no. I did it again. Let's go get the glass. So yeah, as sad as it would be, unless there was some way of communicating a place to meet, there is just, we'd have to have a halfway point, and I'm not even sure there is a halfway point I could get to. Just because it is across a border. I mean, when we had 9/11 happen, all of those planes that were flying to anywhere in Europe and stuff and were on their way to the US, all had to land in Canada because they closed their borders. If you were in the US and you wanted to come back to Canada, you couldn't even do that. Like if you were driving over to Niagara Falls for the day, you were not coming back to Canada. The border was closed completely in every form. So no one was going anywhere. And I mean, it happened in New York, but they shut down everything. Nobody was flying anywhere at any point. You weren't crossing any of the borders anywhere. I'm like, if we're going to have a super disaster of some sort, same thing's going to happen. Those borders are going to close up. The only ones that are going to be able to travel will be relief agencies. So we'll be able to send our army, if they'll let us, because again, tariffs. And if we even volunteer our army, well, of course we will. We're Canadian. It's something we do. So yeah, I don't know. But it would be too hard to actually reconnect. So I have settled with that idea. Also, when I am living down there, and if something happens, I am settled with the idea that I do not come back to Canada. I don't come back to try to find my parents. I don't do that. I don't endanger my life to come back for them. And that is more of a them than me. They don't want either of us, my sister nor I, to come and try to rescue them. As far as they're concerned, they have lived their life. They have grandchildren, they have everything. You know, it's save the grandchildren, save yourself. So I'm like, okay, if that's what you want, but I can't guarantee I won't hop on the first available transport and come looking. But I'll have to carry that for the rest of my life. But I will know that it was my parents' wishes. That's got to give you an idea of how my anxiety works at the fact that I've had this discussion with my parents to be able to have them reassure me and help me to deal with anxiety issues like that. To be able to say, no, if you are away, stay away. There's also the fact that we live next to 2 nuclear power plants. If there is a major disaster of some sort, this area will be completely unsafe to travel in. Important message for me on my phone. Okay. You got a box! Yay! And is he happy in the box? Comet is a weird cat, but it looks like Comet has a box now. Did you get that from your parents' house? Because he didn't have a box. He was trying to find a box to put Comet in. Because Comet is just drives us crazy sometimes. And yes, even though I'm not there, Comet still drives me crazy. Like, just the whole, oh, I didn't finish this one. Oh dear. Switch. Tackback is like, no, you can't. And he's talking to the cat, and I'm like, pick up the cat if it wants to be picked up, because I'm tired of you hearing you talk to the cat when you're supposed to be talking to me. So yeah, I have my super jelly moments where I'm like, you're paying more attention to the cat because the cat wants attention and it's pawing at him and stuff. And I'm like, just give the cat the attention it wants so we can move on. Oh, why are you fighting this? The cat is always, always right. You found on your servers. This sounds bad. The fact that you found it on your server. Did it ever occur to you to maybe clean up the area? Like, the mess. The mess, he is very messy. We were talking about this last night, though. Not about him being messy. About one of those, what do you want to be when you grow up type moments. 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. It all grew back, so I wasn't quite sure where I was supposed to put the blocks. and we were talking about Shakespeare. I love Shakespeare. I went through a serious Shakespeare phase in which, okay, we have a problem. Really? How is this possible? You put off getting groceries for 5 days because you didn't want to leave the house, so no, you didn't have time to clean? That is too funny. Even I managed to clean some stuff up. I went through and took out all my t-shirts that are too small because I have very little closet space, and now I have lots of closet space because, yeah, I got big. So I'm not happy about that. But I did, like, they're just a little bit too small type of thing, like not comfortable. And so now when I go down to the US, I have an excuse to buy superhero shirts. And gaming shirts and such. I think this is where I went wrong, because this would be 3, 6, 9, 10. And we picked up 10 extra cyan. Oh, I keep pressing that button. So I think actually I'm supposed to have, let's put the cyan away and bring the white. And back here, meow, 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 meow. We don't have, do we have white? We do. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yay. We are good. I have no idea what I was talking about. Today has been mostly, I have no idea what I'm talking about. It's been more ranting and raving. I really like this picture. Okay, morning, and off we go again. I don't know if I'll have to plant any of the villagers out here or if they'll come out here on their own. That I'm not sure. I do have a lot of them. So we'll see if they drift in on their own or if they start having kids on their own. That would be awesome. I do need to kill off the green ones because they count as villagers, even though you can't trade with them. I would also, I'm probably going to do like a mass homicide and then try to do stuff somewhere else for a while so that I don't get killed by the iron golems, who will kill me pretty quickly. Yeah, I gotta pick a day to do that. I don't know if I'll do it on screen though, like in front of you guys. But maybe. But probably not. Are you good? Did you get groceries yesterday? I mean, you were out yesterday. Did you get groceries? I hate when he doesn't get groceries. When I'm down there, there will be a routine. On this day, we will do this. On this day, we will do this. Like it's going to follow a routine. And I'm hoping if we do it often enough, it'll stick. But I know it won't. But I'm hoping. Like if every Thursday is clean the bathrooms day, it's Thursday, he'll just have this overwhelming urge to clean the bathroom. But I don't think I'm there long enough to do it. I think they say it takes 21 days to start a new habit. But I think I'm not there for 21 Thursdays. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm also a fan of if you take something out, you put it back. Like you do it kind of right away. Because it needs to be done right away. So if you have a cup of something or whatever, and you're done with that cup of something, you take it to the kitchen and you put it in the dishwasher right away. You don't put it on the counter. You don't put it in the sink. You don't leave it in the room you were in. You put it away. it goes away right away. Now, in my household, we don't do that because I don't load the dishwasher. And if I do, I get in trouble. So it has to go in a specific part of the counter by the sink. And it does that. But when I was out on my own, I immediately put it into the dishwasher or it went in the sink. Problem with putting in the sink is then you need to have a certain number of dishes to justify actually washing dishes. And I was bad for that. So I then got into the habit of saying, you know what, it doesn't matter how many dishes there are. If there's only 1 cup, you do 1 cup. If there are 5 plates, you do all 5 plates. You know, you don't wait until you get a full-on basket load of dishes or else it's just out of control. Like I got to the point once where I was cooking a whole bunch of stuff. So I had a lot of dishes to do. And I had to actually do the dishes in 3 separate times, like because I just didn't have enough counter space to put the clean dishes. And I mean, I'd wash them and then I'd have to drain them and then I would dry them and then I'd do the next set of washing and the draining and the drying. Like it took forever. And I was like, this is horrible. But I was doing it while my food was cooking in the oven. I had like lasagna and I think I had a manicotti. And I have spaghetti sauce cooking on the top of the stove. So I had a serious amount of food going. And it was all delicious food, by the way. So I had all of that being made. And while I was waiting for it to finish, I could do dishes. So I did. But it just seemed like I was doing them forever. Like just as you thought you got 1 set done, you still had more to go. And then, of course, after all that food cooks and I package it up and put it in my freezer, like I let it cool down. So I cut it up, I package it, and it's in Ziploc bags cooling now. They were open so that they didn't get moisture inside of them. And I'm waiting on them to finish. And now I've got all the dishes that I used to actually cook everything with are now a problem because I have to clean all of those. So it was like a 4th set of dishes that I had to do. And these ones were warm dishes, so that wasn't as nice. I did that. Thank you. So yeah, it was not, I don't know. It wasn't too bad, but it was a lot of dishes. But it didn't have to do dishes again for a very long time like that because I had made 40 different meals all there. I had so much spaghetti sauce. It was incredible. I used to do spaghetti sauce out of the cans, and then I would keep the can, and then you put a large Ziploc bag inside the can, and then when you make your own spaghetti sauce, you put it in the Ziploc bag inside the can, and it freezes it to the same shape as the can. So you can stack it in the freezer can-shaped, which is so amazing. So yeah. I have like a lobster pot. And so I would make spaghetti sauce in lobster pot sizes. Like they are massive ones. I don't do that now. And I have no desire to cook that much spaghetti sauce because Takbek does not have a standing freezer, which we do need to work on. Because I would really, really like to cook up a genuine storm and leave him with like a few months supply of food. So just just a small chest freezer. I could literally fill that for him. And then I would know he's eating healthy when I'm gone. I could cook different casseroles and different stuff, and all he'd literally have to do is reheat it. And it would all be healthy food. All of it. There'd be, what I do right now is at least the last time I was there, this is what I did. Is I pre-cook, I weigh out all of the food. Oh, I keep forgetting I have to put the roof on. Roof. I weigh out like ground beef and stuff to store moose through the winter. No, it wouldn't because you eat crap. And so when I'm living there, my dear, we will have a freezer. We will have a chest freezer because there are going to be days I don't want to cook and I feel like having lasagna and I am not going to cook a lasagna. I'm going to go into the freezer. I'm going to pull out the appropriate number of chunks of lasagna, and we're going to defrost them, and we're having fresh lasagna that night. And I will not have cooked them. But that is what I would like to do. I would like to have the ability to say, do you feel like lasagna tonight? And we have lasagna. Do you want to have spaghetti? Well, we have fresh spaghetti sauce that we've made. You want manicotti? We have manicotti. Do you feel like having, homemade chicken soup? We have homemade chicken soup. None of it's like from a can. None of it's has preservatives and stuff in it. None of it has all that stuff. It's fresh. It's wholesome. It's good for you. I can't say it's GMO free because I have no idea. But it's allergen free for me, which is huge because that's something I have to worry about. And yeah. Frozen lasagna is not fresh. I made it and I froze it. It's not the same thing as buying Costco lasagna. Because theirs is pre-cooked and you're just reheating and stuff. Like mine is real. You can actually make it, not cook it, and freeze it. So then you actually have to cook it from scratch in there. And I'm not a donut. And I'm not selling it at a restaurant. I am making dinner for us. You can even make bread and put it in the freezer. I would love to do that. Make bread dough. Oh, that would be amazing. I have a friend of mine who knows how to do all that stuff, and I would just be like, okay, walk me through this again. Make a YouTube video so I can follow how you make bread. She makes bread on a she makes bread with her daycare kids. I am completely aghast. How these are little kids and they're making bread. I'm like, how come I can't make bread? I'm a full-blown adult and I can't make bread. There's something wrong. Whoops. That's not going to work for me. Yeah. We're going to have to come back up here. But not until we put the rest of this lid on, because we can probably do it without actually coming back up here. Yay. But yeah. You've had my frozen lasagna. Are you telling me you don't like it? Are you telling me not to make you a 4,000-pound casserole of some sort, of something you like, so that you don't have to cook? Like this last time, I actually cooked the chicken and then packaged it away so that he had the chicken. Bread doesn't have bones. Anyways, but she has taught them how to make bread. They make their own bread and they take it home to their parents. I am like, wow. Just wow. When I knew her in high school, it was like everything she did still made me go, wow. Now she's married and has kids and is doing daycare and stuff. I'm still going, wow. I am just in absolute awe of her. She would survive the apocalypse, without any issues at all. Really without any issues at all. I just don't see any point. Okay, you're just being gross. I do not encourage cannibalism. Although I did write an essay in high school. We were analyzing poetry, and I was reading Jonathan Swift, the same guy who did Gulliver's Travel. He did a poem, well, it was actually an essay called A Modest Proposal. And it was a tongue-in-cheek thing about the British, because the British were, this is in the height of the potato famine in Ireland. So he was suggesting, instead of taking all of the food from Ireland to feed them, that they just take the children. Because the children were nice and plump and everything like that. They had so much more protein to them. They'd be so much better for them. And he did a whole essay on it. And again, tongue-in-cheek, he was just saying, hey, why take our food, take our children? We have fewer children. We can breed a whole bunch more. We could have a whole industry going. And there's a whole essay he wrote on that. Anyways, he wrote a lot of stuff like that. He was quite the political activist. So then we had to write something of our own. So I actually did a essay on population or cannibalism as a means of population control. And the idea is that we would be able to get rid of our prison systems because you would end up in one of the food places, food processing areas. If you've ever watched Soylent Green, I am sorry, but spoilers, it's kind of the same idea as Soylent Green. Except for in Soylent Green, you reach a certain age and your retirement is, yeah. Anyways, for mine, the idea is if you were a prisoner or you broke the law in some sort, you would actually get to go to this special island. On this special island, and again, you could also volunteer to go. So, you wouldn't have to worry about suicides and stuff because people would go to this island instead. And they would have a year on the island in which they live in absolute decadence. Everything they ever wanted, everything they could ever need, anything, all of their needs were met. So, they lived in the lap of luxury. So even though they may be criminals and things, they still... Yeah, that is really loud. I don't know where that zombie is. I think they're under me. Anyway, so you lived in the lap of luxury and stuff for that year. At the end of the year, you were processed into food. You would then be turned into food stuff, which was awesome. There are a lot of you here. Ooh. And you. And you. And you. No, come back here. And you. So yeah, the idea, and there were rules and certain health regulations and stuff like that that had to be followed, and certain crimes could do it and other crimes couldn't. But the idea of using an entire year gave you a year to get people who may be drug addicts and stuff, to get some clean. But once you've signed over your life, you've signed over your life. There isn't a, oh, I've changed my mind type of thing. You are committed. So, yeah, you are no longer one of the living. Damn, they're coming too fast. Up. I hear them under here. I am going to have to go look for them. This is craziness. You can hear them, right? They have got to be... They are so loud. So they're all in here, this area. What I'm going to do is I'm sorry, I was so quiet. I was trying to listen. I am going to sleep, which should get rid of the ones above ground. And let's go see if we can find the ones underground. Okay, so that should burn the above ground ones. Let's see if we can figure this out, because this is kind of annoying. Hello, you. Or maybe they were all just down here. Oh, I missed him. Don't know if I can hit him because of this tree. Oh, I did. Oh man, there's another one. A little higher. Got you. He's down. All right, let's make a run in here. Pick up our wayward arrow. It might have been that they were all just right in here. Maybe they were all just stuck there. Because I don't hear them anymore. Right? A figment of one's imaginations. So I think what I might need to do is fill in over here more, possibly. The problem is to fill it in, like I carved it out intentionally to prevent them from hopping over the fence. Decisions. Is that another creeper? It is. Hello. Thank you. Any more? Don't think there are. Do you have an egg in the area, little guy? No? Okay. Thought I'd ask. So over here you can see I started building that wall across. Not quite done yet, obviously. It's as far over really as it's going to go. I have to build this wall, but I'm still stuck as to what am I going to do with this area? Am I going to carve it back to make this a bigger area? Or if I do something else. Yeah, it is a border wall. I'll admit it. Because there's an upper tier. Like as you can see up there, it's a nice area as well. So I was doing that. When was I doing that? Last night while I was watching Soul Eater, because I haven't watched Soul Eater in a while and I've kind of missed it. And I kind of forgot what it was about. And I do have a t-shirt that I wear from the show. So I figured I should actually, get a little more familiar with the show I'm advertising everywhere. And now that I'm wearing it again, I'm realizing, wow, this is not child appropriate. It is definitely has a few mature themes in it. But it is a good show. I really enjoy it. It's anime, so it happens. Hi, guys. Hey. Hey. Just smash into them. Oh, down there. If it survived, because I keep doing it and they keep jumping on it, and I'm like, ugh. Oh, we only have one down. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Out of nowhere, I am like super tired all of a sudden. Like I need a nap or something. And I'm like, how is that possible? I was working my butt off all last week and I didn't get a nap. On election day, I actually worked 16 hours. I was up at 6. I was calling my people at 7, and I don't think I made it home until midnight. It was pretty late. So yeah, it was pretty harsh. There we go. So what controversial topic would you like us to talk about that it says in my rules I'm not supposed to talk about? But I talk about them anyways because they're my rules. I can follow them if I want to. And goodbye, seeds. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, there was more. Bye-bye. Oh, I should have kept them because now I need them for here. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I will kill off those villagers, and then, you know what, these are not growing, so the seeds are duds. Oh, another controversial thing. I have Roger's internet, and I am calling them out by name because I am really annoyed with them. And they throttle me, it looks like, on the weekends somehow. Or they do strange things to my internet on the weekends somehow. We don't know how. I pay for 100 down and 10 up. Yeah, I don't know what I have to read those tonight. I'm talking about those tomorrow. Shh. I don't know what they all are. I actually went to sleep. E3 is happening. They're making lots of announcements. I don't know what they are because I went to bed and my Twitter was exploding and I couldn't handle it anymore. So after the stream, I will be going through my Twitter. I will be going through the live stream. I will be going through all kinds of stuff. All kinds of things were announced. All kinds of things are happening. I was going to save my time at Porsche's stuff for my longest outro ever, but fine. They released a new update, which we will be doing tomorrow. And that's about all I know. I spent all my time reading up on that. I didn't actually spend any time looking at the E3 stuff because it was just too much stuff. I don't know if it's really on. There's nothing on. It's not on Alexa. I think that was just Elvine joking that he thinks it would be awesome to have Skyrim on Alexa. But yeah, there's a new Skyrim that's out. There's a new everything that's out. If it could be out and new, it's out. I used to think that they released these things like packs and stuff, but no, they're coming out at E3. Or even Comic-Con, like something like that, but nope, E3 is where it's happening. I have a friend right now that I think. It's a joke, but it's a real ad. Well, they're putting Skyrim on just about everything, so you never know. Yeah, so I have to read up on that. So you'll hear more about that tomorrow, about the new stuff that's out and new games and new things. I do know there's a few games out there that Valve is putting out that are on, I'm not going to name them, that are out on Steam that are really inappropriate. And I have no idea what on earth is up with Steam lately. I don't know where the games are coming from. They don't seem to be necessarily North American games, and they are really bad. The tamest of them that I have seen, I will tell you about. In one, it is the what is it? Do you ever want to be a psychiatrist? And so it's a psychiatrist simulator. And it takes you through people, and you have patients, and you have to do therapy with them and stuff like that. And so you're testing out, should I tell them this? Should I tell them that? And it is really not something you really should be doing. People should not be pretending to be psychiatrists. It's going to give them a false sense of, well, I did play the simulator. Yeah, that's not going to help anybody. On top of that, some of your choices in advice and things like that actually gets your patients killed. And yeah, that's not a video game. That's wrong. Obviously, again, not a North American released game. You can get it, but it's also really inappropriate content. Things like there was one section in the comments, they were talking about how one of the patients was talking about cutting themselves, and they actually have graphic pictures of it in the game. So even if you say, no, I don't want to see it, it still shows it to you. And it's like, this is not appropriate content for anybody. It's not something you should be making a video game out of. So it's very wrong. Stick to Skyrim. But yeah, it's for sale, and people are not only buying it, but they're streaming it. That's what really gets me, is that there are streamers out there who think it's appropriate content for their channel. And I'm like, I hope you're not partners, because this is just another one of my why I'm not a fan of partners. I would like to make partner, but considering the company I would be in, I actually really don't know if I want to. There are some good partners out there, some really good ones. Unfortunately, there are more and more and more every day that are really and truly horrible. As an affiliate, one of the really cool things that we just got recently is they're giving us more emotes and stuff. And yeah, so I think we have either we have 5 new emotes we can use, or we're getting 5 in total. And a whole bunch of partners freaked out. They're like, how come these people are getting it when they have nothing that they can do and all this stuff? And I was just like, wow. Just wow. Are you that insecure about your channel and your 50 emotes that you can't let an affiliate have 5? I know several partners who don't put in as many hours as I do. I'm like, how did you even make partner? I put in way more hours than they do. They stream just on the weekends and somehow they got partner. I stream 5 days a week. Plus I do YouTube videos on top of that. And I can't have 5 emotes? I mean, as it is, I really only have 1 that can be used because of the fact that it's a sub emote. They're not happy we have subs either. These same partners. And I'm like, well, I'm not happy you can even stream. I think that partnership is something that should be reviewed every year. And if you don't qualify in that year, you should lose your partnership. Because I think that a lot of people who have partnership, as soon as they get it, they go lazy. They're like, woohoo, I'm a partner. I don't have to do the work anymore. And they don't. They just don't do the work. They don't stream as much. They don't put the effort forth. They don't do any of the stuff that was needed to make them a partner in the first place. And it should be reviewed yearly and say, you know what? This person wouldn't qualify. If we were to do theirs right now, they wouldn't qualify to be one. So we're taking it away. And I think that in itself should shut a lot of them up when they realize that not even they qualify to actually do it. I work very hard and I get very little out of Twitch for what I do. Put in a lot of hours here. And I do love what I do, but I hate hearing it demeaned by those who are partners. I really hate that. And I think that they should remember back what it was like before they were. The work they had to do to make partner. The work they had to do and everything. So being able to give me some emotes to be able to do it, it really doesn't hurt them in any way. Like, I couldn't see the point of even making emotes when I knew full well that my people who were subbing to me would only be able to use one. Why am I going to put the effort forth to have these emotes and to do all these other things if I'm not going to be able to use them? They get emotes just for the number of people they have. Well, I should be allowed to have them too. And at one point, I was quite, as Tackback can tell you, I was quite militant about it. I actually had it so that I would ban any and all emotes in my stream. And this is before they came out with affiliate, because I didn't see how fair it was that you would pay for something that somebody else may not be able to afford and have it in my stream when somebody else couldn't. My stream was going to be emote neutral. So, the stuff I'm looking for is actually in here.